the customer kan. So the company will send to all the customer. So that is on the correct classification. So the list is valuation, especially when you perform the when you send a negative confirmation. So the answer is C. Okay, look at to this one. Look at so who would like to answer? Okay, try. Siapa nak answer? Read the question and give the answer. Siapa? Amira. Amira. Kak Amira nak? Try. Mira nak try tak? Try Mira.
Boleh?
Okay.
The audit
Read the
assistant at
question.
C&Co is about to begin testing of the receivables balance for Dress You Like Co, and you are keen for them to use automated tools and techniques in order to save time and cost. They have approached you with a list of procedures they intend to perform using automated tools and techniques. Required, which of the following procedures could not be performed using automated tools and techniques?
So now you are going to use the CAAT. Okay, automated software, guna software. So which one of these testing of receivable balance cannot be achieved when you perform using the automated tools and technique? Mira? So which one is the answer?
Maybe B.
B. Calculation of receivable days. This one.
Yes, but I'm not sure.
Why you answer B? So A, B, C, D. Why Mira answer B? Calculation of receivable days cannot be performed using the CAT. So this is the AP, analytical procedure. Analytical procedure tak boleh kira melalui software ke?
Boleh.
Boleh kan? So the answer is B.
No.
So which one do you think that when you use the software cannot do it for you? That is simple. Yang mana agaknya komputer tak boleh buat untuk kita when you perform the audit of testing receivable balance? Software boleh tak select a sample? Okay, software boleh select sample or not?
Cannot.
Tak boleh select sample.
Sampel tu kan sampel kan kita yang select kan which one kita nak.
Sample of receivable for confirmation. So tak boleh software tak boleh select a sample. Guna tools. Boleh tak Mira computer select the tools? Select the sample.
Tak sure dah whether macam
Okay.
Boleh kot.
Boleh lah sebab when you ask the tools to select item that you already investigate tadi, okay, select a sample. So you set a limit that item more than let's say item with a difference of 5,000. So the system will be set for you lah. Dia akan automatic select the sample of item more than 5,000 to send a confirmation. So this one boleh. This one pun boleh. Evaluate of adequacy of the allowance for receivable. Boleh tak buat evaluation? Can the software evaluate the adequacy? Boleh tak komputer buat kat sini untuk kita? Kalau you nak evaluate something, okay, you should use apa? Kalau dalam audit terms, you nak check allowance for receivable, is it reasonable or not? Is it adequate or not? So, you must use what? Can you use computer?
No.
So, this one cannot. You cannot use computer to evaluate the adequacy. Yeah? You have to use your professional what?
Judgment.
Okay, you need to use your professional judgment based on your skill, based on your experience, based on your knowledge. Then you have to evaluate that. So it normally cannot be performed by the tools. Okay, so this one. And produce of receivable confirmation letter, this one of course lah. Okay, so that's how the question come out. So it's not a simple question, then you have to apply your knowledge regarding the CAAT also. When we are talking about audit procedures, any question can be asked, okay, on the audit procedure. They do not go in detail, but they will just ask you on your understanding of the application of the procedures. Okay. So this is what you have in the book page. And the question also in the book asks you on the reliability, page 283. Okay, how reliable source of audit evidence in account receivable confirmation and describe audit procedures. So that one you can read later. So because that is regarding your sources of the audit evidence. Okay, yang tu you boleh baca. Okay, you can read by your own. And then go to page 286 on the case study. Okay, where okay, Emily send out a case study, page 286. So I take here, I take this from the case study from your book. At the end, Emily said, send out receivable confirmation request to a sample chosen by her of Brown Coast receivable. Now at the final audit, she is processing the replies. Okay, from a sample of 15 account receivable, she had obtained 13 replies. Of these 13, 10 agreed to the balance on the sales ledger. So Emily has confirmed these balances. Okay, she is now turning her attention to the other 5 balances. So 5 balances not replied. She has asked a member of her audit team to call the 2 customers that have not yet replied. So she must now perform a reconciliation between the balances. The 3 other customers have stated they are owing and the sales ledger figure. Okay. The details from the customers are given below. So this is the 3 3 yang call the 2 customer not yet reply but from okay, wait Hello. Ya, saya ada kelas sekarang. Lepas ni ke 12. Ya, baik tuan. Okay, terima kasih. Okay, so she now perform a reconciliation between the balance of the 3 other customer has stated that they are owing and the sales ledger figure do the reconciliation, okay, and then the details from the customer are given below. So yang ni lah Ashley's co balance as per ledger. So this is what Emily take from the ledger, 24,219. But for the customer, okay, the reply, Ashley Co reply, the amount owed is 16,704. So the difference, when Emily identify the difference, so the difference is remittance of 7515 dated 28 September. So bila the year end ni? Nah, I think this year end Emily Brown and Co ni bila year end dia? Tak ingat dah. Is it 30th of September? I think 30th of September So Brown and Co. Ingat lagi tak? Brown and Co ni accounting year end dia bila habis I think 30th September. Year 6 kot. Year berapa tak ingat dah. So Melanie Co, balance per sales ledger 32,591, balance per customer 32,004. So the difference is because credit request re-invoice number So the invoice dia salah, lepas tu dia suruh re-invoice. Okay, so difference. Tapi customer dia dah take into account that amount. Okay, then Wilkes Company, balance per sales ledger 938, balance per customer 692, and the difference per customer unexplained. So different unexplained 246. So macam mana nak buat? How you are going to deal with unexplained this one? Okay, this is clear re-invoice, but you have to ask why to the management. Why the customer ask for re-invoice, and this one is look at back to the remittance of the goods at cut off date. So this is what Emily do. Emily must instigate each of these reconciling item. She should review sales ledger receipt around the year to verify the difference on Ashley's account. So this one Ashley's ni sebab ada remittance. Okay, when you talk about remittance, okay, you need to use sales ledger receipt, okay, around the sales year end. So this is the document that you need to review. Okay, so when you do the audit procedure, okay, you can say that review the sales ledger receipt account at year end to verify the difference, okay, on the account. So that is the procedure that you need to do. Okay, and then if the remittance was not received until October, the sales ledger balance is correct. And to see if 246 on Wilkes account is a similar receipt. Okay, is a similar receipt 246. Okay, from Wilkes account 246 ni is a similar receipt of the amount received by the company. Okay, then this one, okay, yang different ni adakah dia juga adalah come from the money that has been paid while Wilkes, okay, but not yet received, okay, or that is the item in transit or already received but not recorded. Okay, if it is not, she must scrutinize the ledger account for Wilkes to see if she can discover the differences and also discuss with the sales ledger clerk. So kalau this 246, okay, this 246 is not due to the receipt, okay, go back to the sales ledger. Okay, so you must scrutinize the ledger account, work out back to the ledger, and you should discover by discuss with the sales ledger clerk. She might wish to review credit notes to see, okay, if the credit has been omitted from the ledger in error. So scrutinize the ledger account and check to the credit notes. Okay, is there any credit notes has been omitted? In terms of Melanie balance, Emily should discuss the requested credit with the sales director to determine if it is justified and likely to be issued. Okay, what is the case of Melanie? Melanie, okay, dia kata dia request for re-invoice. re-invoice back. So means bila re-invoice, okay, the sales invoice might be reduced. Okay. And the person who should discuss with is the sales director, because only the sales directors can justify, or the any changes to this invoice must be properly authorized. So that's why you, Emily here, requested from the sales director and determine if it is justified and likely to be issued. So kalau dia dibenarkan, so sales director will ask the clerk to issue a new invoice. Even if the director says the credit will not be issued, it might be wise to include this amount on a schedule of irrecoverable debts, as it appears that the customer is not prepared to pay the debt. So this is the possibility that you will do, okay, regarding the amount, the dispute amount just now. Okay, if the company does not want to pay the debt, okay, put it under schedule of irrecoverable debt. Okay, if let's say the directors give or the directors has talked to you that the company having a problem to pay their debt. If replies from the other two customer, okay, if replies from the other two customer were with replies outstanding, okay, are not forthcoming, Emily will have to carry out alternative procedures on this balance. For example, cash after date test. So kena tengok yang dua tadi tu tak reply tu. So how you are going to confirm whether the amount is exist or not? Okay, whether the amount is the right, okay, of the company. So the alternative procedure is perform the cash after date test. Okay, for irrecoverable receivable, so this one yang you Emily do just now. Okay, even if the director say the credit will not be issued, it might be wise to include this amount on a schedule of recoverable debts, as it appears that the customer is not prepared to pay the debt. So this is the how you are going to do with the irrecoverable receivable. Okay, if you want to test on the irrecoverable receivable, you have to perform the cash received after date test. Okay, so what it will be provide you, it will provide evidence of collectability of debts, okay, and it achieve the valuation objective. Okay, so for the valuation of the irrecoverable receivable, it also provides some evidence of correctness of the title, right and obligation, although ideally it should be carried out as well as receivable confirmation. Okay, sebab tadi Emily already sent a confirmation letter, but then receive confirmation letter does not reply. So what should they do? Okay, after discussion with the director, okay, the amount should be put under irrecoverable receivable. So what should you do? The test on irrecoverable, test cash received after dates. Okay. So what you are going to confirm? You are going to confirm on the correct valuation. So you can confirm, okay, the necessity or adequacy of write-off of specific receivable by respondents, lawyer, receivable collection agencies, liquidators statement and so on. Okay, examine customer file on overdue receivable and assess whether allowance is required in the circumstances. So you kena assess back whether the amount due, if let's say the normal customer will get 30 days credit term. So how long the credit has been in the accounts of the company is overdue? How long? Is it more than 90 days? Okay, so you have to assess whether allowance is required in these circumstances. Okay, consider whether amount owed may be not recovered where there has been round sum payment on account and invoice unpaid after subsequent invoices paid. So kalau yang ini berlaku, so it is wise to put it under irrecoverable receivable. So this is a potential of bad debt. So kena tengok dia punya reasonableness. Okay. So this is the continuation. So you can confirm, review customer file, corresponding files from the lawyer, okay, to check on the ability to pay the debt, confirm allowances against receivable, what is the rate for the provision for bad debt, provision for doubtful debts, okay, and then you look at on the correct calculation and formula use reasonable and consistent with previous years. And then you can check credit notes sebab they are talking on re-invoice. So you kena tengok credit notes issued after year end for allowances that should be made against the current period balance. Accuracy of age receivable analysis. Okay, the age schedule listing tadi. Investigate and consider need for allowance against unusual features on age receivable such as unapplied credit, unallocated cash, and investigate and consider need for provision against unusual item in the sales ledger. Okay, provision for unusual item ni adalah provision for bad debt. Okay. So auditor should consider the collectability of material balances other than those contained in the sales ledger. Auditor should request certificate of loan balance from employees and others and inspect the authority of if necessary. So that what you are going to do with the irrecoverable receivable. Okay, so this is the procedure to achieve the completeness objective, right, and obligation, okay, in the account receivable. So this is the money year end tadi yang you which I said on day this one. You have to check the cash receipt after date. So this is what you are going to do. Okay, post year end cash receipt. So means that the cash receipt is received after year date. Okay, after year date. So this is amount received after year end and balance owed at year end. So what should? Okay. Okay, required, consider the information, okay, in relation to the balance owed by each customer at the year end. Which balance might require further investigation? So yang ni tadi. Okay, you ada balance owed at year end 11,800 for all for customer, okay, Jasco, and they have all customer have balance owed at year end. Okay, so which total is 12,500 expected in the draft of account. And then the amount received at year end by each of the account receivable, okay, 5680 for Jasco, semua ada bayaran at amount received at year end, which a total of 6356. So out of this customer, which one you want to investigate further? Dia kata. Okay. So consider the information above in relation to the balance owed by each customer at year end. Which balance might require further investigation? So which balance might require further investigation? If you are the auditor. So apa balance mana yang you nak investigate? Okay, Amni? Amni kat balance mana yang Amni nak pilih?
Jasco Supermarket.
Jasco Supermarket. Okay, Amni pilih Jasco Supermarket. Why Amni pilih Jasco?
There is a high difference.
high amount received, okay, as compared of the balance owed at year end. So do the amount received is actually received, okay, or not? Okay, good. Just go. Another one, Ada nak pilih which one of the balances?
Everyday wear.
Everyday wear amount received is 0 and balance owed, okay, 6 negative. Okay. Why ada pilih everyday wear?
Sebab balance owed dia jadi negatif.
Okay, balance owed at year end is negative. Okay, so that's why Ada based on their professional judgement dia pun pilih everyday wear. Okay. Another one, Syamina, pilih mana? What you want to investigate? Holy aristocrat. Why? Okay, because they have a balance 73,000, then they pay 63,000 at year after year end. Okay, post year end. Post year end means after year end. Okay, so now kita check. So what should actually, where is the auditor should focus? Okay, yes, just go supermarket. Okay, owed at year end. However, because the get 60 days credit, the amount we should have been paid in October and November is 5,900,000. This means that there is an amount of 220,000 we should have been paid but has not paid. So yes, you test the Just Go supermarket. Other than that, tadi okay, Holy aristocrat, okay, has paid full, has paid all but 10,000 on the amount due at year end. There was a balance of 5,000 due more than 90 days at the end. Against the recoverability of this amount could be doubtful. Tadi ada pilih Holy aristocrat kan? Tak ada. Yes. Okay, Holy aristocrat, dia ada amount received 63,000, amount owed 73,000. So yang ni kita kena pergi tengok balik on the where is the slide on the amount due? This one. Aristocrat only they have 73. Okay. So berapa terms of payment dia? 30 days. Okay, tapi at the end 90 days they still have 12,000. Okay, not yet paid. So that is considered irrecoverable. Okay, so what should you do? Okay, Holy aristocrat has paid all but 10,000 of the amount due at year end. There was a balance of 12,000 due more than 90 days. Against the recoverability of this amount could be doubtful. So berapa dia bayar? So dia ada 12. Okay, so they still have a balance sebab the amount paid is 63. So they have still 10,000 due. So that is in terms of irrecoverability is in doubt. Satu lagi tadi, you pilih apa? Everyday wear. Cuba tengok everyday wear. Do you should check on the irrecoverability. Ada tak? Ivory, oat one out, we are going exploring. Tak adalah ada. Closing, Terran. Okay. Ada tak? Kat mana oh yeah, this one. Where they have no movement on 6,000 credit balance of everyday wear. So credit balance ni tak ada movement. So what should you do is you must have to look at in terms of their sales credit notes dengan sales invoice back. Okay, sama ada sales invoice for go for the sales ataupun the credit balance because of what? Sebab dia tak ada movement on the 6,000 credit balance ni. Cuba kita tengok on the okay, this one. Mana tadi? Apa nama dia? Everyday wear. So dia still total 6 million. Then at the end of 90 days also same. Tak ada movement ni kat sini ni. Okay, tak ada payment or whatever. Okay, so you have to check also on the everyday wear. Okay, so okay, good. You already understand how to do with the amount received and balance owed at year end. So how you are going to to get the evidence? Review post year end cash receipt for evidence that the balance exists. So you want to check on the existence and is due for the audit client and irrecoverable and is recoverable. Okay, so that is your evidence you should do. Okay, on the post year end cash receipt. So this is happen when there is a credit note issue at year end. Credit note regarding the re-invoice tadi. Re-invoice, so you have to look at whether the credit note has been issued at year end. So you have to look at the following list of credit note issued during October and November. So this is the customer who have the credit note issued after year end. So Jasco Supermarket 220, Holy Aristocrat 10 and Old One Out 5. 5,000 220,000, Holy Aristocrat 10,000 and Old One Out 5,000. Okay, what is the description? Okay, for the Jasco Supermarket issued, the credit note issued in relation to this disputed invoice, which was due more than 90 days. Okay, for the Holy Aristocrat, issued in relation to the amount of 12,000 due more than 90 days. Okay, for the Odd One Out, issued in relation to an invoice sent in error. So you justify this one that invoice sent in error. So what further evidence does it provide about the receivable balance at year end? And write out the audit procedure. So this is what should you do to Jasco Supermarket. Okay, the 230,000 which should have been paid by Jasco but was not related to dispute invoice, but was not related to a disputed invoice. Given that a credit has been issued for this amount post year end, the balance was not an asset at year end and an adjustment should be made to the financial statement. Okay, so maksudnya, after you identify that, Jasco tadi 230,000 issued in relation to a disputed invoice, which was due of more than 90 days. So this is the answer for This one. Mana tadi? Okay, this one. Okay, where the Jasco supermarket have overdue amount of 2,300, okay, which more than 90 days. Sebab Jasco supermarket given by the company 90 days only. But after 90 days, they have amount owed of 2,300 and within 90 days 3,600. So the total amount is 5,900, more than 90 days. So what should you do? Okay, so the 230,000 which should have been paid by Jasco supermarket in October or November but was not related to a disputed invoice. Given that a credit has been issued for this amount post year end, the balance was not an asset at year end and adjustment should be made to the financial statement to reduce both revenue and receivable by 222,000. Okay, the same point applies to the credit note issued to Holy Aristocrat and owed one out. This amount should be removed from revenue and receivable at year end. So this is the suggestion to you to the management. So management has to remove that amount because that amount is not the ownership, the right of the company. Okay, review. So what is your audit procedure? Okay. So audit procedure, review credit note issued to customers post year end. Where the credit note relates to a pre-year end invoice, discuss the need for an adjustment in the financial statement in order to ensure that receivables are appropriately valued at year end. So kalau you review the credit note issued to post year end, you can take into consideration to test the credit notes. Okay, and where the credit note relates to pre-year invoice, discuss the need for an adjustment in the financial statement in order to ensure that receivables are appropriately valued. Okay, so this is done at post year end. Yang ini akan berlaku kalau result dia sama ada you will get whether the amount is actually claimed by the clients is their revenue but actually is not. Itu akan berlaku when the company receive the credit notes issued at post year end. Okay, any question on that? So maksudnya when you do the audit, you will identify whether that a particular amount is actually the right of the company or not. That how you get the evidence whether the amount stated for Jasco is correct or not by performing the test. Okay, any question? Okay. So this is a sales. Sales ni dia sama dengan macam sales ni sama macam kita buat cut off recovery sales. Sebab dia relates with the sales of inventory and sales and purchase. So dia akan libatkan transaction assertion. Receivable. Okay. Any question? Can we proceed to sales? Boleh proceed to sales tak? Okay, so sales So kita tengok sales ni relate with the receivable. So sales on credit basis. Okay, receivable will often be tested in conjunction with sales. Auditor are seeking to obtain evidence that sales are completely and accurately recorded. Okay, so completeness and accuracy. This will involve carry out certain procedure to test completeness and occurrence of sales and also cut off. So 3 things that you need to achieve the assertion: completeness, occurrence, and cut off. So completeness and occurrence you can perform by analytical procedure. So you will see the level of sales over the year, changes in quantity, changes in product price, goods return, sales allowances, discount, and efficiency of labor. So in addition on that, you can check the gross profit margin. Okay, and analyze the gross profit margin to see is there any product area by month or by quarter. Okay, and then while talking on the completeness, of course you must relate with the good dispatch note or tills rules, for example, and compare to the receivable ledger. And at the end, you have to look at in terms of reconciliation. Sales ni tak ada sangat masalah lah because you already done it. Okay, when you do the testing on sales. So this is what you do, okay, for the completeness. Okay, since completeness testing is relates with the accounts general ledger, general ledger. So what should you do is you find out the standard. This is the all the goods. Okay, the codes of the goods. Okay, GDN number. Okay, GDN number, GDN value. So this is number, reference number. This is value. This is the sales invoice number and sales invoice value. And then revenue correctly recorded in receivables, okay, ledger. So is the revenue correctly recorded in receivable ledger by comparing the GDN with the sales invoice. Okay, you compare GDN with the sales invoice. Okay, for item 1258447, okay, standard order form number 125847, example, the amount is 10,000, standard order form 10,600 pound. Okay, GDN, so good receipt, okay, as compared to standard form, order form, same. Okay, 10,600, 10,600, sales invoice also 10,600, yes. So revenue correctly recorded in receivable ledger, yes. So if yes, no notes lah, tak ada notes. If no, look at to no here. Okay, sales order number 128362. Okay, the form order is $8125. $8,125,000. Okay, the GDN is same, X125 also. Okay, but if you look at to the sales invoice, invoice has been recorded wrongly, 8152. So this invoice has been overstated, right? Overstated. Actually, good delivery notes is 8,125,000. Okay, but the sales invoice issue to order form of 128362 is 8,152,000. So the difference is 27,000. So order by delivered by 2 deliveries. Okay, so difference of 27,000. So the answer is no. So that is how the testing of completeness is done. You have to check. Okay, you have to vouch back to the sales order form compared to the sales invoice. vouch to the sales order form and GDN and compared to the invoice sent, to the customer. Okay, that is the test that you are going to perform. So when you consider on the exam focus here, what is the exam focus? Since you are testing the completeness of the recording of the sales in the receivable ledger, we cannot take a sample from the ledger because the sample cannot include what has been recorded. Okay, so means that if you want to test on the completeness, you tak boleh ambil the sample from the ledger. So means that you have to check from the GDN, from the order form, GDN and the sales invoice. Okay. If on the other hand, why you cannot take a sample from the ledger? Okay, because we cannot take a sample from the ledger because the sample cannot include what has not been recorded. Okay, if on the other hand, the auditor suspect the sales may have been invalidly recorded and have not occurred, then the sample will be taken from the receivable ledger. The sample will be taken from the receivable ledger and confirmed to supporting documentation. So this is what you do just now. Confirm to supporting documentation, order, dispatch note and sales invoice. So that is the exam focus. So means that you must know how to test for the completeness. Okay, test for the completeness. And test for the accuracy. Okay, if you want to test for the accuracy, you re-perform the pricing calculation and addition. Use the word re-perform. Verify whether discount has been properly calculated. Confirm whether sales tax has been added properly. Trace debit in the sales account to credit note. Recast sales ledger account and receivable ledger control account and review reconciliation to test accuracy. Okay, and when you perform the sales cut off, cut off ni I tak nak ajar lah because you already done it clearly during your inventory. Sales cut off is the same thing. Okay, sales cut off, inspect good dispatch and return inward. Okay, so I dah cerita kat you macam mana you nak inspect good dispatch note and return inwards and reconcile and so on. So I skip this one. So yang penting you kena tahu first, what is the objective of sales cut off? To see whether the transaction recorded at a proper period. And how is the audit procedures? Okay, how is the audit procedures? Sales cut off. Consignment. So good consigns, care should be exercised to ensure the goods sold on consignment basis are properly treated in the account. Okay, except where the client has been notified of the sales of the good, they should be reflected in the financial statement as inventory at cost and not as receivable. So this is for consignment, inventory at cost, not as receivable. Otherwise, profit may be incorrectly anticipated. Consignment kena letak dekat inventory. Okay. Prepayment. The extent of audit testing will be depend on the maturity of the amount. Verify existence of the prepayment. Okay, by reference to the cash book, expense invoices, correspondence, and so on. Okay, verify calculation of the prepayment. Review the detailed statement of profit or loss to ensure the completeness and review the prepayment for reasonableness. Okay, reasonableness. So this is the allowance. Okay, the audit on the allowance of the receivable. Okay, 5%. Include an allowance equal to 5%. the financial statement of Itchy and Scratchy include an allowance equal to 5% of receivable. Okay, state the audit work you will perform on this allowance. Okay, allowance on 5% of receivable. Okay, what is actually allowance equal to 5% of receivable? Anyone? But I nak tahu apa allowance ya? Allowance to receivable. Nurin? Nurin?
Again, madam?
Apa maksud allowance ni? Allowance equal to 5% and allowance equal to 5% of receivable. Actually this one nak audit apa ni?
Nak audit receivable lah kan? Untuk apa?
Ha.
Bad debt.
Okay, so bad debt. Okay, good. Provision for doubtful debt. Okay, sebab bila you tahu apa benda you nak buat, so then you able to know what objective or assertion you want to carry out for the audit on this receivable. So that's why they kata verify that the basis used is consistent with the previous year. So when we are talking about provision, is this amount confirmed yet? Or this is the estimation? Is this estimation, class?
Yes.
Right. Okay, good. This is estimation. So bila dia estimation, kita gunalah audit on estimation yang kita dah estimate itu hari tu. So untuk estimation, you kena tengok whether the provision is consistent. Okay, and then whether the basis and assumption used reasonable. So bila we're talking about estimation, dia sama. Audit dia semua sama. Cuma you have to relate to what kind of item it is. Okay, so kalau dia depreciation, estimation, sama. So you nak check calculation. Okay, tapi yang ini provision for doubtful debt pun sama. You have to do the calculation, also the accuracy, the consistency, okay, the reasonableness, okay, and then since we are talking on provision for doubtful debt, kena tengok receivable ledger. Lepas tu aging of receivable, pattern of receivable and amount owed, collection period. Okay, and then you review receivable ledger for all large debt against with the specific allowances might be required. So as what we discussed just now, okay, apa item yang you nak you nak investigate which item based on your decision. Okay, re-perform calculation. Yes, when we're talking about rate and amount ni, dia mesti melibatkan re-perform. You kena re-perform calculation to check accuracy. Okay, and then again, when talking about estimation, kena buat reconciliation. Okay, confirm that receivable balance agreed with the adjusted control account. Okay, and then confirm that allowance has been posted to the accounting record to ensure completeness. Okay, completeness and accuracy of the accounting record. So that's how you do your audit on that particular item. Tak kisah audit on what. So first you determine what assertion you want to achieve. Okay, so selalunya is in terms of accuracy. When we're talking about figure ni, dia mesti ada accuracy. Okay, dia mesti ada completeness. Okay, and then it must support with the documentation. Okay, so this how you perform your audit procedures. So this what the chapter summary, what you have learned so far just now. For the account receivable, we have looked at how to audit the receivable by looking to the age receivable listing. Okay, you need to investigate any old, overdue or unusual amount, review post year end cash receipt and review credit note issued after year end. That is for age receivable listing. For the and then you need to do the confirmation So you have to identify exception or disagreement ataupun what should you do with the non-response. And for the revenue, for the transaction, you might perform the cut-off testing, okay, to check transaction and event reported in the correct accounting period and perform other alternative audit procedures. For the sales, okay, or revenue, you check on the occurrence. So this is a session that you need to check occurrence, completeness and accuracy. And you test the revenue by performing analytical procedure, cut off and directional testing. So over or under statement. Directional ni over or under statement. Okay, and then you testing prepayment, okay, by recalculation, analytical procedure and agree to the supporting documentation. That is for receivable. Okay, so done on the sales and receivable. Okay. So any question? Okay, I'll post the question in the, okay, I think you better understand it first. Okay, and then I will post the question, okay, after this in the Google Classroom. Okay, on Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday kita face to face kan? Kelas?
Yes.
Lupa ya face to face. Saya rasa macam nak face to face dengan you all ni. Okay, so on Wednesday, I proceed first with the cash and bank. Okay, cash and bank. So this one, okay. So ada berapa slide ni semua ni? Ada banyak lagi slide Okay, 62 slides all together. So finish first and then we discuss the question. Okay. Okay, class, any question? So sorry for taking 5 minutes your time. So I will share this one in the Google Classroom. Then you have to study back, okay, read back, okay, and then try the question. Okay, class? Any question?
No kot, saya no.
Okay, Amira, no. Others? Too much thing to do to learn today. Okay, so thank you very much. Yeah, I think you have tired already. Okay, never mind. So please recall back. Okay, after the class, then try to do the exercise. So if you have any question, jot down the question on Wednesday we discuss. Okay, done.